It's time for Tackle My TBR Shelf. Hey guys, it's Janie. Welcome back to the Bookworms Buddy. It is time for Tackle My TBR Shelf. And I've been working on this for a long time, and what I do is take all these books that I have, older books I try, and I put them out there on my TBR shelf, and I read through them whatever order I want to, and as I read books, I add books. So I'm trying to get these books that I had on my shelves for a while read before I read the new ones that I end up hauling. So anyway, I did really well last week. Let's just get into it. The first book we got here is The Girl in the Mirror, and this is by Rose Carlyle. This was fantastic. I was afraid at first that the ending was going to be unfinished because I was getting really close to the end, and I'm like, I still have questions. But the author comes in there and wraps it up perfectly. Made me super happy. I rated this 4 stars, and it was really good. The beginning was a little slow, but it did pick up. You got Summer and Iris, who are mirror twins, which means they're identical, but one mirrors the other. They grew up in money, but then their dad divorced their mom, and he remarried, and she's got a daughter also, and I believe it said they had other kids together, but they grew up on the ocean, on a yacht. I mean, that was just their life. Iris was better at that than Summer was. Iris is more the go-getter. Summer's the more easygoing girl. Well, anyway, Dad passes away, and they read the will, and the will says whoever has the first heir gets the $100 million that he's worth. And I thought that was really crappy for him to do. I mean, who does that to their children? And now you got a stepside also who's involved. So, you know, I mean, that could bring out some jealousy and what have you. But anyway, Summer marries for love, and Iris just marries because she wants the $100 million. Well, her marriage didn't last, and Summer's did, because she never told her husband anything about it till after they were married. Anyway, they were going to take a year-long vacation on the yacht because Summer ended up buying the yacht. And, well, her husband's son Summer's stepson got ill. He's just really young. And so Adam, her husband, had to stay behind, and Summer and Iris decide to take the yacht to Africa, where they were planning to go. So they get out there in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and Summer gets up one morning, or Iris gets up one morning, and Summer is gone, just completely disappeared. She spent days and days searching for her, trying to find her, and she can't figure out what happened or what went on. And that's pretty much the story. I don't want to say anything else because it's a small book and it's really easy to like spew something out there. But yeah, this book wrapped up beautifully. I'm so glad that I read it. The next book I read last week and finished was The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. Guys, I don't know how I've never read Riley Sager before, when I love thriller. I've read a lot of thriller books and never anything by Riley Sager. And now I'm glad I did, and I will be looking for more of his stuff. This book was fantastic. This one is about a summer camp, and you have Emma, who goes to summer camp, and she ends up showing up late, and they don't know where to put her because she didn't get there on time. They end up putting her in with older girls. I believe they were 16, and it was Vivian, Natalie, and Allison. And Vivian kind of takes Emma under her wing, and one night Emma wakes up and she sees the 3 girls sneaking out of the cabin, and they end up disappearing. She gets a call from the owner of the camp asking her if she'd come back. She's reopening the camp, and so she decides to do it. She's going to go, and she's going to figure out what happened to those 3 girls 15 years ago. that's pretty much the story. I loved it. I loved everything about this. I loved again, the wrap up was perfection. I did not expect it. I did have an idea, so I thought it was going to be a little predictable, but the author just managed to throw stuff in there and just had me looking in the wrong direction most of the time. So it was fantastic. If you want a really good thriller, this one's fantastic. I will definitely be finding more Riley Sager to read in the future. The next book I picked up to read is A Shadow and Bone. This is by Leigh Bardugo. I read this book back in 2016 and I never continued the series. So I want to get this done. I want to like it as much as I liked it the first time. Because the first time I read it, I gave it 5 stars. This time it's not quite that high. I don't know what changed for me. I think the biggest part of what changed for me is the fact that I read the Throne of Glass series, and maybe it's the character part of it, because Selena is this really strong, powerful, beautiful creature, you know, and in this one you got Alina, or Alina, however you say her name, and she just seems a little more laid back and weak and meek and all that stuff, and maybe that's just what's throwing me off with this one. I mean, it's still very fluid, it's still rocking along. We'll see what happens when I finish. I'll have this finished maybe today, but definitely by tomorrow. So yeah, you all know what Shadow and Bone is about. It's a YA fantasy in the Grisha universe. So I'm not going to get into a whole big synopsis about it. It's about Alina, who finds out that she is in fact Grisha, and she gets taken to train and to become more powerful, or use the powers that she's discovered when she tried to save her friend Mal. So that's pretty much a story. But yeah, I'll have this one finished by today, because part of this end part is the next book. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot to go. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I just don't know if I'm enjoying it as much, if that makes sense. So, and those are the books that I read last week, you guys. I really did. I feel like I did really well last week. So yeah, that is Tackle My TBR Shelf. Let me know, guys, how you're doing on your TBR shelf, or your TBR list, or whatever you use. Thanks, guys, for staying tuned, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.